Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss some important definitions or topics on the engineering mechanics. So what is engineering mechanics? The subject which deals with the applied science, which deals with the principle of mechanics and their applications in the engineering are called engineering mechanics. The engineering mechanics is again divided into two main groups, which are statics and another one is dynamics. As the name suggests, statics means it deals with the forces and their effects when the body is at a rest position. Static means when the body is at a rest position. If we find out the forces, if we find out the force is acting on a body, what is its effect on that body, if we find out these when the body is in rest position, then it will be called as a statics. Then what is the dynamics? So which deals with the forces and their effects while acting upon the bodies in motion. So same thing only in statics and dynamics also, we will deal with the forces and their effects, but the static is about its rest position and the dynamic is about when the body is in motion. The dynamics is further divided into again two types, which is kinetics and another one is kinematics. So let us see what is kinetics. It is a branch of dynamics which deals with the bodies in motion due to the application of forces. Okay. So first what happens is, one body is there, it is moving with some velocity because of the application of forces. If we study, that means that is kinetics. What is kinematics? In kinematics we will deal with the bodies in motion without any reference to the forces which are responsible for the motion. Okay, previously what we have done is, one object is there or one body is there, it is moving with some certain velocity. Okay, it is moving with certain velocity. We are focusing on the moving body and the forces acting upon it. Both we are focusing, which is kinematics. In kinematics what we will do means, we will deal only with the bodies which are in motion. We won't consider the forces that made the body to move. That is the kinematics. Then again the most important thing is rigid body. Rigid body is a solid body in which deformation is zero or small, it can be neglected. The distance between any two given points on a rigid body remains constant in time regardless of external forces exerted on it. A rigid body is usually considered as a continuous distribution of mass. In simple words, rigid body is a body, if we apply any forces on it, it won't deform or deflect, then it will be called as a rigid body. What is the force? Next thing, what is the force? It is defined as an agent which produces or tends to produce, destroys or tends to destroy motion. So it is difficult to understand in this definition. Let us understand with the application. A horse applies a force to pull a cart and to set it in motion. A force is also required to work on a bicycle pump in case the force is applied by a muscular power of our arms and shoulders. So force is something that makes any object in this universe to move, or if the body is already in the move, sometimes we will increase the velocity, sometimes we will use the force to decrease the velocity. For deceleration also we can use the force to make the body which is in motion. The forces we will use, it can stop the body also, so that will be called as a forces. Okay, then there is a system of forces. When two or more forces acted on a body, they are called to form a system of forces. Okay, first one is the coplanar forces. Let us say we have taken two forces, these two forces line of action lies in the same plane, then we will be calling it, these two forces we will call it as a coplanar forces. Next one is the collinear forces. If these two forces line of action is in the same line, then they will be called as a collinear forces. Next one is the concurrent forces. So concurrent forces means usually they are meeting at some point. So if two or more forces are there, all their line of action is meeting at the same point, then it will be called as a concurrent forces. Next one is the mixing of all these things. So first one is coplanar concurrent forces. What is coplanar? Coplanar means the two or three, whichever the forces are there, the forces are all in the same plane. Concurrent means the line of action of the all forces is at the same point. Then we will call it as a coplanar concurrent forces. So which are in the same plane and their line of action also is at a same point. Next one is the coplanar non-concurrent forces, which means they are all in the two or three or four forces are in the same plane, but they are not meeting at a single point. Their line of action does not meeting at a single point. Then we will call it as a coplanar non-concurrent forces. Next one is non-coplanar concurrent forces. So concurrent forces means all the line of action are meeting at some point, but they are not in the same plane. Then we will call it as a non-coplanar forces. Next one is non-coplanar non-concurrent forces, which means they are either in the same plane or they are not meeting at one point. Sorry, their line of action is not meeting at one point. Then we will call it as a non-coplanar non-concurrent forces. Next one, important one, characteristics of a force. What force will have? Force will have, first one is the magnitude of the force. The force will be having some magnitude, 50 newtons, 100 newtons, 20 newtons, or kilonewtons, or kgs, whatever it is. Next one is it should have the direction. It should have the line of action in which direction it is going. Next one is the nature of the force. Nature of the force means, if we see means in any door we might have found glass door, push or pull. So these are the nature of the force. We are pushing a door or pulling the door. This is denoted by the arrow line. So this can be denoted by the arrow line, and the point must be act from one point, the point at which a force acts on the body. So a force should have a magnitude, it should have a direction, it should have a nature, and it also should start from a point. Next one, effects of a force. A force may be produce the following effects on the body. First one is it may change the motion of the body. So if the body is at rest position, by adding some forces we might set the body into motion. And there is another thing also is there. If the body is already in motion, if we apply some other force on it, it will accelerate more, the velocity will become high. If we are driving a bike at 20 kilometers per hour, we increase the gas, means it will go to 40 kilometers per hour, which is already in the motion. Next one, second thing is it may retard the motion of the body. So in bike we are going at a speed of 40 kilonewtons per meter. Sorry, 40 guys, 40 kilometers per hour. If we are going at 40 kilometers per hour, we are applied brakes. What will happen? The acceleration will decrease. So retardation will happen and the motion of the body will decrease. It may retard the forces already acting on the body, thus bringing it to rest or in equilibrium. Equilibrium also, rest also, same only. So equilibrium means the all forces acting on the body are in equilibrium. So if we applied brake, means the bike will come into a rest position. Next one, it may give rise to the internal stresses in the body on which it acts. Okay, we applied fully brakes, what will happen? Tires will get the pressure. So that is what they are saying. Next one is principle of transmissibility. So I will read out the definition first. If a force acts at any point on a rigid body, it may also be considered to act at any other points on its line of action, provided this point is rigidly connected with the body. See, one body is there at one point. So let's just say in left side the body is having a force. If this force can be transferred at any point in this line of action within the body, then the effect of this force on the body doesn't change. That is called the principle of transmissibility. Next one is principle of superposition. This principle states that the combined effect of force system acting on a particle or a rigid body is the sum of effects of individual forces. Okay, let us say a body is there, F1 force is acting in one direction, in same direction F2 force is acting. Okay, these are two forces acting. If we sum F1 plus F2, which is F3, so in the same body, if you keep F1 and F2 and you keep sum of these two is F3 in the same body, there is no change. So sum of the forces, if we make the sum of forces 10, for example F1 is 10, F2 is 30 newtons. If you apply it to the underbody, there will be some displacement. If you add 30 only, 20 plus 10 directly, if you apply 30 also, same displacement will be coming in the rigid body. That is, we call it as a principle of superposition. Okay, this and all we will see in the next class. Thank you everyone.